Alright, no crazy wordplay this time, but it's just to let you know that we are going to be chatting about sample snobbery. Yes, we're back at it again. What's up, fam? It's your boy Demuir here, purveyor of all sounds underground. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel today, where I'll be discussing the topic of sample snobbery. Now, it's kind of a dovetail off of previous videos I've done in this matter about samples to retire, and it really just came from a place of the overuse of certain samples and people just using sample packs just boring, just drag and drop and doing nothing with it, you know what I mean? So I've had some time to think about this and now I've come back to the subject, and I want to revisit certain things post pandemic or nearing the end of the pandemic because I made some observations and I think you can benefit from it, of course. But before we jump into things, what I need from you is that SLC. Hit subscribe, like, comment, and more importantly, hit the notifications bell to stay in tune with the new videos that we have up and coming. All right, so point number one, just to be clear, I'm still a sample snob, if you want to call it that. I don't really give a fuck, bro. I do not care. If you want to keep coming with the same boring samples, use the same way that people did it like 15 to 20 years ago, and I think Simon Demuir even kind of agrees with me on this one, although his comment went the other way, but I don't want to dive too much into that. The point still stands. Shit that was done before, I don't want to hear it again. It's been 15, 20 years. Let's evolve. Let's move on from that. And point number two is the precise reason why I feel the way I do or did. And point number one, which is the technology. Technology today allows us to be so super creative in being able to flip samples a certain way, know what key they're in, like tools like Serato Sample. Like, to me, there's really no excuse in being able to do things in a different way and stretch the technology to its full capability and its creative mastery for you as an artist. We should take more advantage of these solutions that are out there. The fact that you can load a full song into Serato Sample, it tells you the key of the song, and it offers up different ways to discover slices of the sample to do things differently, to me is just a huge indication of why we should not accept any excuses for just doing things in the boring and most simplest way possible when it comes to sampling as an art form. And point number three is sort of a spin-off from point number two in terms of the various online solutions that are now available to us more prolifically, I would say. Things like Arcade's or Output's Arcade solution and Loopmaster's Loop Cloud solution have really, at least for me, introduced different ways of chopping and cutting things up and discovering new sounds all at the same time. In particular with Loopmaster's Loop Cloud, which, by the way, the link will be in the description. I am a product affiliate, so I want to be very transparent about that. But with Loopmaster's Loop Cloud as an example, I'm even rediscovering sounds that I already have in my own library in terms of sample packs I previously purchased to get inspired or just do something different with. These solutions, now that they're there and they're coming in as plugins and you can just have them rolling in the background of your project or whatever sketch you're working on, offers up an insurmountable amount of opportunity and creative abilities. So I just think we should keep pushing, hence why I'm still a bit of a sample snob. And point number four, I will be the first to admit there was a point in time when I was like, sample packs, why would you use those? And let me just give you some context as to why I was feeling that way. There was a point in time when I saw a number of sample packs coming out where people would just drag and drop the sample in there, and I was just like, well, so many other people can just do the same thing and it all just sounds the same. And I will say, for minimal techno, it's definitely happening there. It's that same, swinging clothes hat. I like, someone's got to tell me what this fucking sample pack is because I want to be able to pull it up and say, "Yo, here it is." But back in the day, that sample pack was vengeance, and you've heard people like Deadmau5 talk about this as well. And he called everybody out. He's like, "Yo, you all just grab that same sample pack and use the same sounds, and everything sounds the same." So you could call us snobs for wanting to push the envelope and hear what people got. But it's even more agitating today with the advancements in technology that allow us all to just simply be much more creative in our artistry. And with those tools, allow us to hit and explore different things and hear things in a different way that haven't been done before. That's the kind of progressiveness I just want to get down with. So when it comes to sample packs, that was my previous hesitation. But today, fast forward, I think it's more about the person using the tool, and don't hate the author of the sample pack necessarily. And it's not because I created my own sample pack on Loop Masters. It's just I realize, in terms of the way I've been using sample packs, I use them in a way to act as a seed that inspires me, and then I make it my own. I change things. I shift the key of the sample sometimes, or I chop it in a different way, rather than just drag it and drop it in. And for certain situations that might make a lot of sense, because at the end of the day, it's your own creation, depending on what you paired it up with, and everyone will do things just a little bit differently. But it's time for us to just push ourselves out of the laziness of things and leverage the sample packs more as a seed of inspiration rather than an easy tool to just keep it moving and get things going. And then lo and behold, at the end of it, everybody has the same sounds and the same shit, and everything sounds the same and boring eventually. And point number 5, this is a big one. Vinyl sales, surprise, surprise, are up, and they continue to go up. And we got these things called USB turntables. You can't see it on camera, or maybe you may be able to see it, but we have, again, these technological solutions that are available to us. So digging for vinyl and grabbing those unique sounds that no streaming service will have, that very few producers will have, is absolutely more relevant today than I would say than it was yesterday. Like, it is a huge point of distinction. Yes, it can get a little expensive depending on the types of records you're going for. So if you want to be crazy, like I was for a while, and tell your boy Aki at Cosmos, "Yo, I want a crate of Japanese pressings of all 80s funk, and I want to sample that," yeah, you're going to end up spending 2 to 3K. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can still be very creative and hit the dollar bins and discover some really cool and interesting stuff that nobody has. In fact, sorry, they won't use it the same way you did, because you will stretch technology to its furthest capability and get the most out of it. But digging for records, in my opinion, it's one of the hugest points of distinction now, where you can just find super unique things that nobody has, even streaming services don't even have. And it offers much more to grab in terms of dynamics in the samples, because you're sampling it right off the record. You're not getting it through a streaming service that has compressed and squashed the sound in many different ways, and it just doesn't sound as interesting as it could. So definitely get into or back to the digging if you need to be there. And there you have it. Those are my thoughts on sample snobbery in 2021. Let me know what you think of this video. Hit like or dislike if you want, but more importantly, comment on it. I usually join the conversation within 48 hours of posting these videos, so I'd be very interested to hear what you got to say and engaging in a conversation. And it doesn't have to stop here. We have an amazing Discord community. You'll see the link in the description below, where there's a lot of like-minded DJs and producers at various levels, all participating in different conversations, sharing tracks and solutions and tools that only look to advance people's game. So much love and respect to you. Peace.